Erica Saccoccio here with the Childcare Director's Chair. For those of you who are new tuning in to our channel, we'd like to welcome you. If you find that you like this content and you want more of it, make sure that you subscribe below, comment on the video. We love to hear your thoughts. So there is no tired like teacher tired, except for director tired. And after the last 3 years, man, I know you guys are tired out there. So on this channel, we're just going to keep it real. We're not going to talk about palm trees and how to make the next million or how to open up and scale 20 more centers. Those are all great things. Let's talk about we're heading into a recession. We just got over a pandemic. We've lost half of our staff, whether it is they retired, they've changed jobs, or they've been promoted into other positions. And so now you have teacher vacancies. But first, I want to talk to you about you. I'm going to talk from my own personal experience that in the last 3 years, I probably had about several crying sessions in my pillow, along with a pint of ice cream. I have not taken care of myself at all as far as getting to the gym or packing a lunch or drinking my water or taking my vitamins or any of those other things that are super significant when you're in charge of making sure that 42 employers are happy, 270 children are safe, your licensing worker, your parents, and all of the other demands that come with running a center. So I want to talk about, could we just pick ourselves up? Man, let's just pick ourselves up and let's look forward. I know the last 3 years have been really tough, but I think we need to get back to where we were, which was loving Monday and loving coming into work and being happy. And I mean, I can't think of any other job where you walk in the building and 1,000 little people come to your legs and almost knock you over. And so there's just really nothing like it. And I know that you connect with that as well, which is why you're still here. Because let's face it, it's not here for the fame and it's not here for the money. We're here for the children and the impact that we make on communities. But you can't do any of that until you take care of yourself. And I know that sounds funny coming from me, clearly overweight, clearly old. And so it's just real. It's just real talk. And so some of the things that I want you to do is make sure that you're sleeping at night. Shut off your phone. I know that you get texts in the middle of the night. There's nothing you can do about a call out at 4 a.m. via Facebook. There's just nothing you can do about it then. So there's no point in turning on your phone other than disrupting your sleep and then stressing you out for the next 3 hours while you try to figure out who's going to open up the center at 7 o'clock. Right? Real talk. So what can you do about that? Well, certainly have someone on deck that can open the center, or it's you, whatever, however you are set up. But, try to put some strategies in place so that way you have, I know substitute teachers, you're all laughing if I say a sub list, right? A sub list would be great. A full team would be great. But that's just not the reality that we're living right now. So I would love for you to at least figure out the ways that you can keep your own sanity and make sure that that you're okay, right? Because as the leader of your program, you have to be okay first, because there's no way you're going to support the rest of your team if you're not. So in the comments below, we would love for you to share maybe your top 3 or 4 tips on what you've done in the last 3 years to make sure that you are healthy, mind, body, state, and, still smiling on Monday, because that's most important to me. And it needs to be most important to you that you're taking care of yourself. Secondly, let's talk about your employees, okay? Your employees have changed. You know it. I know it. The culture of work has changed. What employees want has changed. They don't want pizza parties, guys. They don't want Taco Tuesday. They don't want Donut Monday. They just don't want any of that. Well, maybe they might want some chocolate once in a while. That might be a lie. But honestly, what they really need is they need your leadership. They need you to be clear. They need you to be supportive. They need you to be empathetic because they're tired too. So instead of kind of turning in on each other, because that's unfortunately what has happened, just looking on Facebook, you see directors complaining about staff and staff complaining about, directors. If we work together, it will be a much better outcome for all of us. So talk to your team about what it is they really need and what they really want for you. I know for my team, what they really appreciate is a little bit of extra prep time, a little bit of extra lesson planning, a little bit of extra breaks, I mean, going to the bathroom, just think about it. Like, your staff have to ask permission to go to the bathroom. They have to have somebody cover them. They have to wait 10 minutes. Like, if you're old, maybe you can't wait 10 minutes, right? You have to pee now. So I know that sounds so minutia, but those are the things that matter to your staff. If they're having a tough day, having some empathy, maybe switch out with them. Maybe give them something to do in the office that they can do, and you can cover their classroom for an hour or two. That's the things that matter to them. So ask your team, take a poll, and, see what matters. The other thing is you got to be part of your team. Like, I have no problem taking out a teacher's trash, cleaning windows in a classroom, or changing a bulletin board. Now, I know there are many, many, many coaches out there and childcare owners that are like, that's not the best use of your time. Well, if it keeps my employees happy and keeps my employees consistent, that keeps my parents happy, which keeps my program running and thriving. Now, I'm not saying I'm going to be the janitor every day of the week, but if I know that that is what my staff need from me in that moment of time, you better believe I'm going to do it. So I'm sure there are going to be people in the comments below that are not going to, agree with that statement. Just for the record, I do have multiple locations. I have opened up 6 child care centers. I had closed a small one and expanded it to a larger location that doubled the capacity. I had one that I closed because it was not profitable and didn't fit with my culture of my brand. And then I had one that we opened, we filled, and we sold to someone else. I do know about growing and scaling, and for some small business owners, I don't even think you should do that, because if you can't maintain the quality as you scale and grow, you're better off staying at 3 or 4 locations. But that's a topic for another day. My point is that your team will need you, and they'll need you in different ways on different days, and you have to be in tune with that. And it's as simple as that. So, and some of your staff who are trying to take care of their mental health and their physical well-being may not even appreciate the donuts. Maybe they want an apple. Just a thought. The other thing they want to grow within your company. They want to be able to learn new skills outside of the classroom. They want to learn how do they move from a lead teacher to an assistant director, or how they move from assistant director to a director or a general manager. Everybody wants growth. And if you have teachers that have been with you a long time, that's the way you keep them, is they have to have growth opportunities. And if they're really, really great and you're not giving them the growth opportunities, they're going to leave, or they're going to open their own center. It really is, unfortunately, just the way that it is. So how do you as a business owner or a director make sure that you're retaining your best talent? And that's the number one way, is to make sure that they feel valued, appreciated, and you give them growth opportunities. We talk about great work cultures. That's like the big buzzword nowadays. What that means is really having a place that's not toxic. And then also making sure that if toxicity is happening in your program, you address it immediately. And don't become part of it, because sometimes directors are venting to other employees on the floor, or venting to other directors in earshot of your employees. Not good business. So that's something that you really want to take into consideration. I understand that you may not be in a good mood every day. You're human. We all have bad days. But just remember that your vibe, your actions, what you say will penetrate into the days upcoming and how your team responds to you. We do talk about onboarding a lot, but unfortunately, in the last couple years, let's be honest, you haven't had a lot of time to onboard your staff, and it's like, unfortunately, you're trying to get them in the classroom as quickly as possible. So now is a time that things have stabilized a little bit to maybe backtrack and maybe make sure that you have covered all the areas that needed to be covered with that employee on how to do things within your business. I think that it's a nice refresher. I think it's a great way to reconnect with the staff that maybe have disengaged a little bit. So think about that onboarding process, and then maybe the people on your team that can be part of that. Again, those growth opportunities for your team that has been there a long time, or somebody who's really, really good at a particular thing. Like, if you're really great at doing bulletin boards, maybe you allow that employee to do a tutorial on how to do a great bulletin board. I think those are really important. And everybody is burnt out. I mean, we just are, right? So let's be honest about that and think how we are going to help lift everybody up. At our school, and obviously not every school can do this, but you can do some version of it. At our school, we have a place called the Zen Den, which is a teacher timeout area, which has lovely, relaxing music, bean bags, a little tea maker that you can make tea or coffee, cold water, eucalyptus like a spray or a diffuser going in the room. And it's a really great place to kind of just take a breath and take a step back and just be able to be reflective, because teaching is a practice that is very reflective. And at the end of the day, our vibe and our attitude affects our children, our parents, and our environment. So we have to do the best that we can to uplift each other. And so that's really important. And then the last thing I just want to address is, as a director, don't be mad that your staff are mad that they have been there a really long time and now new people are walking in the door making almost as much as them. I know that that is the hand that we have all been dealt. The wages have increased exponentially over the last 2 or 3 years. And I know we all have budgets, and parents can't afford to pay more, and programs really can't afford to pay more. It is, hot topics right now on how the government will or will not get involved in paying towards childcare. We'll have to see how that plays out. If you feel strongly about that, then you need to advocate, get connected with your local advocacy branches that are in the early childhood field. So I think my main point is we have to lift ourselves up. We have to move forward. We have to be positive. Our children need us. Our teachers are tired. Our directors are tired. And I'm sure our parents are tired. I think everybody needs to be a little kinder, do things that matter. And we all have a part in it. So bring that positive vibe to work. Be happy that it's Monday. Be happy that you have a job. Be happy that we get to work with little people who are going to impact our communities and our future. So we're going to do everything we can on this channel to bring you the best tips on how to be a great director. And we thank you so much for tuning in. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.